Hi friends, welcome back. Introduction to Language Basics. Data Types, Variables. Part 4a. Types, Variables. C# is a strongly typed language. Every variable and constant has a type, as does every expression that evaluates to a value. The .NET class library defines a set of built-in numeric types, primitive, and more complex types that represent a wide variety of logical constructs, such as the file system, network connections, collections and arrays of objects, and dates, non-primitive. A typical C# program uses types from the class library and user-defined types that model the concepts that are specific to the program's problem domain. The information stored in a type can include the following items: the storage space that a variable of the type requires, the maximum and minimum values that it can represent, the members, methods, fields, events, and so on, that it contains, the location where the memory for variables will be allocated at runtime, the kinds of operations that are permitted. Data types in C# is mainly divided into three categories. Value data types. The value types directly contain data. Some examples are int, char, and float, which stores numbers, alphabets, and floating point numbers, respectively. When you declare an int type, the system allocates memory to store the value. Reference data types. The reference types do not contain the actual data stored in a variable, but they contain a reference to the variables. Pointer data type. Pointer type variables store the memory address of another type. Let's have a look on this workflow for the C# data types from the memory and data type perspectives. As we can see, we have value data type and reference data type. The value data type has primitive types, and the reference data type has non-primitive types. The primitive type has numeric and non-numeric. The numeric has two categories: integer and floating point. The integer has four subcategories: byte, int, short, and long. The floating point has two types: double and float. Then we can see the non-numeric type, where we have character, Boolean, which is true and false. Then we come to the non-primitive type, where we have strings, arrays, and user-defined data types. This table explains data types in C#, which you might not use many of them. But keep in mind, selecting the correct data type with understanding of its range in the memory, it will help you to make your program faster. Variables. A variable is nothing but a name given to a storage area that our programs can manipulate. Each variable in C# has a specific type. What determines the size and layout of the variable's memory? The range of values that can be stored within that memory, with the set of operations that can be applied with that variable. How to define variables. The basic syntax for variable definition in C# is data type, then the variable list. Here, data_type must be a valid C# data type, including char, int, float, double, or any user-defined data type, and variable list may consist of one or more identifier names separated by commas. Some valid variable definitions are shown here: int I, int j, int k, char, c, char, ch, float f, float salary, double d. You can initialize a variable at the time of definition as int I equals 100. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.